All right. Oh. Oh. Well. Wow. That was rough. Claiming the Spurs are aging me? Yeah. Your boy Sohan his cheeks. Got it. I have no more sympathy. This was a really it was a pretty bad loss. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna hold you on that. All right, it was pretty bad. CP is back. It was a pretty bad loss. Spurs are done. Well, let's not go that far. But it was a pretty bad loss. Mitch is to blame, playing ISO in the fourth and Wemby not being the first option. Mitch is tanking. I just felt like the entire team kind of fell apart. Jeremy Sohan masterclass. What are you guys going on about? Jeez, man, you come out of a game and this is your takeaway? That's your takeaway? Cause he missed the three? That's your takeaway? He missed the three and then Wemby missed the three and we just missed a bunch of shots. Like, it was terrible. The whole fourth quarter was terrible. What are we talking about? This is your takeaway? This is your takeaway. Sohan, that's your takeaway. Chat's too reactionary. It's crazy. I think the Spurs are a 44-win team, and I think the Spurs aren't a playoff team yet. I've been very adamant and consistent with that. I think that expectations waver way too often after a win or after a loss. Sohan doesn't seem 100%. Of course he's not 100%. Of course he's not 100%. And he still did fine. Defensively. Of course he's not 100%. Jeez, guys. They never learn. You guys got to calm down, okay? They're not going to win 44 games playing like that. They're a literal 500 team right now. This is what you get from a 500 team. Bassey is trash. Bassey showed that we definitely need a backup big, but like, I don't think Bassey's trash. Bassey has played basically the same way as he has played. The team lost the game. No individual lost it by that. No. It was a major team loss. I would love to be able to pin it on one player. I would love to be like, oh, it was Wemby. Oh, it was Sohan. Oh, it was Keldon. I would love to say that, but like, not really. Not really. I don't want to be live long. I'm trying to see. I was kind of waiting it out, guys, to see if there was a press conference out already, but I don't see one. That's the only thing that sucks about going live right after is that. Oh, we do have one. Why is it split? Is it on the Spurs channel yet? Antonio Spurs. Let's see. This felt like a loss coming though, guys. Mid fourth, I was just like, I even tweeted out like, I literally tweeted out, because I was like, yeah, this doesn't look good. This feels like a loss now. Something that should have been a convincing win turned into a loss when that fourth quarter hit. I was a little afraid during the game anyways because they kept it within 10, which bothered me. We need Pop back. We're all right. Trash finds a way to be trash. I understand people being upset. I'm not. It's not like I'm happy about this. Spurs ESPN. But we can't pin it on one. I mean, the entire team as a whole looked pretty. They made a lot of mistakes. Jeez. I think we need to sign Mike Brown. Now you guys are being very reactionary now. You got to calm down. You guys got to relax a little bit, all right? The Spurs are no better or no worse than they were literally a couple games ago when we won a game. Like this is what a 500 team looks like. They've earned that 18-18. Okay, this is what a 500 team looks like. Nearly 500 away. This is a 500 team. Rather have Becky. Oh my gosh, guys. Losing identity in the four. Like, they're just a 500 team. Definition of mid-range. We're just a 500 team. That's all it is. They're not a worse team than they were in the... What were you guys saying after the second quarter? A couple streams ago, everybody was in the chat saying, "Oh my God, the Spurs are going to win a championship. Oh my God, they're going to go deep in the playoffs. You got to just believe, Clan." And I'm like, no, they're not. This is what I don't even see. You know, you guys, some people that came into the chat saying Sohan's trash. I really want to see what you were even looking at, because even statistically, it doesn't. Usually, statistically, I can go here and tell you guys, oh no, defensively he did well. And I'm not really relying on him offensively. They have him on minutes restriction, obviously. Last game was 26. This minute's 27. Or this game's 27. We could have won last game, and I thought we would have won if we kept Sohan in overtime, but we took him out before overtime started. But he's on minute restriction. And he went 5 for 7 from the field. 1 from 3 from 3. Had a couple assists, a steal, and a block. And as far as plus minus, he had the best plus minus out of our starters. He had a -2, and you can see Harrison -6, Wemby -6, Chris Paul -7. What, even statistically, what are we talking about? Sohan is not trash, but he's a defense only guy. He's not just a defensive only guy. Yes, he can guard 1 through 4, which is incredible. But his IQ on the offensive end is high as well. He makes really good cuts. He takes the right angles on defenders. He's a good passer. He's more of a connector guy. You know, we're not expecting him to go out there and be Ben Simmons or LeBron James, you know, prime LeBron, prime Ben Simmons. But at the end of the day, he's a good connector, high IQ player. I will agree with you guys now, though. His shooting mechanics, I thought it looked better last year. So, you know, obviously he needs another offseason. I guess keep in mind part of his offseason this last year, similar to Wemby, he didn't get the full offseason, you know. The Olympics going on and all that. It's so ugly. Yeah, it's pretty ugly. It looks pretty bad. So he changed that. It looks pretty bad. His free throw shooting is still good, even though they didn't put him to the free throw line. Because his free throw shooting has gotten better, hasn't it? Let's see. Oh, no, it hasn't gotten better. It's like actually slightly worse. I thought it gotten better. I was completely wrong. He's getting to the free throw. I mean, it's not like a crazy drop off. He's getting to the free throw line more often, and it dropped off about, what's that, 4%? It's not a crazy drop off. He's also getting less minutes than last year, but only like a minute less. Well, not even a minute less, half a minute less. His field goal percentage overall has increased though, so that's good. He's definitely doing better than last year. Overall, I think he's doing better than last year. Only missed 1 all year. What are we talking about? 1 free throw? What are you talking about? So he needs to be a shooter to make it in the playoffs. Well, man, we're Spurs fans, man. Where is this obsession with 3-point shooting come from? Not everybody on the team has to be Steph Curry. The freaking, I mean, even the Warriors with their Steph Curry. I mean, not everybody on their team could shoot threes for them to win a championship. Draymond Green is notorious for not being a good 3-point shooter. Like, where does this come from? You know. If this ain't embarrassing, then I don't know what is. Guys, you're not... Look, if you're embarrassed, if you feel embarrassed, I promise you the San Antonio Spurs feel 5 times as embarrassed. Did you see Wemby on the court or on the bench? And like Chris Paul just yelling at them? They're pretty embarrassed. It was pretty embarrassing. Not embarrassed at all. All right. Okay. Sohan for sale and picks for Fox. You guys are way... Okay, the chat is super reactionary right now. I'm just going to give you my thoughts overall about this game, and we'll end the segment, okay? You guys are actually, like, losing it right now. I know that you feel embarrassed, okay? Obviously, me as a Spurs fan, I'm not too happy about this loss either. I mean, I kind of felt the loss coming mid-fourth. I was like, all right, we have no momentum now. We're making a lot of mistakes. This is everything you could do to lose a game, the Spurs were doing. Pretty bad. Pretty bad stuff. So, but at the end of the day, like I said, my opinion has not changed about this team. All right, they are a 500 team. I think you get 44 wins. I don't think they're a playoff team. And this is that type of game where these mistakes are going to keep showing itself. I mean, not constantly, but every now and then, every couple weeks, you know, or a week and a half, we're going to be reminded of why the Spurs are a 500 team. I don't necessarily agree with, and I felt like this at the beginning of the season, but not anymore. I don't necessarily agree if people say that we're better than our record. I don't think so. I think the Spurs really are just a 500 team. At times they look really great. At times they look pretty bad, or they make young mistakes, bad mistakes. And that's a 500 team that does that, right? You don't have to be perfect every single night, but you know, you got to be better than that. That's all I'm saying. So not surprised that they would lose a game like this. You know, I know that we have high regards for them because Wemby is so great. And because it seemed as if last game that Devin Vassell started finding his footing again. And, you know, Sohan had a good game in this one, but, you know, it's obvious that he's coming off of an injury or whatnot. I mean, they only played him 27. Last game, they only played him 26. I saw a lot of people in the chat also getting on to Mitch Johnson, which... Yeah, I mean, sure, some of the lineups were a little strange. Can someone in the chat tell me, though, I do want to know this, Zach Collins. I actually don't agree with Zach Collins not seeing the floor at all, right? I felt like Bassey was struggling defensively. He was struggling defense. Now, he is who I thought he was. Like, I don't think Bassey's like a star player or anything, but was something wrong with Zach? I agree with you. Zach Collins should come in for Wemby first, I think. Yeah, I didn't understand that. Mamu over Zach Collins. Well, Zach Collins is a better defender than Mamu. I did not understand Collins not playing at all. I think that one thing that we're seeing that's kind of hurting us a little bit is it might be one of those situations where on paper or because we know the Spurs are huge analytics guys, right? Like Pop would do it as well. He's huge on the analytics, so he's going to put the best possible team analytically out there. And sometimes he'll put his little tweak on it. And I think the Spurs are doing that a little like too heavy to the fact where maybe on paper, Bassey is the best lineup in this game, but it was very obvious early on that this was not working. So I was just wondering where the heck was Zach, you know? I don't think Zach Collins is a savior. I don't think Bassey's a savior for our backup big situation, but at the same time I do not understand that don't act like Collins is our salvation. I don't. I just said that. I say he's not our savior or anything. I just didn't. I mean, maybe he would have done a slightly better job. It's not that Collins plays bad defense, right? It's not that he plays bad defense. It's just that Collins is just a little undersized to try to run center. But Bassey made some pretty bad mistakes, I thought. You know? So overall, like I said, this team, you know, is it embarrassing? Yes. As a fan, I'm sure you feel embarrassed, like, oh my God, like, you know, I was just on Twitter talking so highly about this team, and then you lay this type of egg. I understand it. I completely understand it, but no one's more embarrassed than the team right now. Did you guys see Wembanyama on that bench? He looked pretty upset. M says Sohan just looked like he taking up space. Oh, that's Chris. Okay, I like you, Chris, so I'm not gonna go off. I actually like you a lot. That's not true, but I do like you a lot. You did upset me by saying you didn't watch Old Boy because of the subtitles. I don't like that. That does make me angry. Wemby was gassed. You think so? They took a while to put him back in the game at the end of the fourth. I still don't like the immense amount of 3-pointers when we don't have to sometimes, you know. I feel like and this is going to change. This is going to change. You know, this is just a temporary thing. We just got to deal with it for this season, I'm sure. But like, I do get a little irritated with any line of resistance on the defensive end. Victor Wembanyama gives up the ball. Like, it's very rare where I see Victor Wembanyama gets moved out of his spot and kind of attempt to fight through it, you know, and make a move to fight through it. He would just give it up. He would just pass it out. That happens a lot. And I don't like it. He'll pass it out, get back behind the 3-point line, get the ball and shoot it. I do not like that. I hope that can change. I mean, they literally had Lonzo, which is not saying Lonzo's a bad defender or nothing, but it was oftentimes they had Lonzo ball on Wemby, and then, you know, Wemby move out of spots and just give it up. I hate it. Anyways, Sohan should totally be packaged for Fox. Not worth the extension money. I'm going to tell you guys this right now, okay? I'm going to say this with my whole chest, all right? Sohan is not the issue, okay? Sohan is not the problem. And I think that that's very short-sighted if you look at Sohan and the skill set that he has and thinks that he's the problem. It could very well be the fact that the Spurs are young. That's one thing that we probably should throw out there first and foremost. But secondly, we just don't have the team that we need right now. We need a starting small forward, right? We all know that Barnes is a placeholder for now. We need a backup center to Wemby, and Chris Paul won't be here forever. We'll need another point guard, and you know, I'm hoping that, you know, Castle can be that, but he's a combo guard. He can do lots of different things. We just need more, and you're not going to get it right now, just like that. But just throwing out Sohan and saying it's Sohan's fault because he's not giving you 53s a game is absolutely asinine. Okay? You can have a championship team and have a player that's a starter that's not a volume shooter. You can have that. He does a lot of things on the court. He plays good defense, high basketball IQ on the offensive end, makes good cuts. He's a good rebounder. He does a lot of things. He's a good player. It's like Draymond. I swear, dude. I saw the Warriors fans do the same thing with Draymond. Now people sit back and everyone says Draymond Green was so essential. He was so important to that team. Dude, I remember when the Warriors were first going on their runs, everybody just thought that Draymond was just a liability. Everyone thought that. They're like, he's just a liability. Wait till the Spurs get the appropriate guys on this team. Wait till they appropriately be able to build around Vic. We will be completely fine. Vic needs another offseason. All these guys need another offseason. Well, a few of them need another offseason. They'll be totally fine. Let it go into the draft, and you'll be cool. That's all it is. Jeremy plays winning basketball. He does play winning basketball. See, an Ultimate saying you're just trolling. You guys are tripping tonight. You need to be more consistent with your takes, okay? Because there's nights where we come in here and Sohan goes off on one game, and I sit back and I'm like, oh, he had a good offensive game, but that's not really what I rely on him for. And I think that he's done a lot of other things that's more impressive. And everyone would just say, Sohan is so great. And then it's a game like this, which he didn't even have a bad game statistically, so I don't even know where it's coming from. And he's coming off an injury, and everyone's like, he got to go. I don't know, dude. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. This game felt like a flashback of last season because they're a 500 team. And that's okay. Sohan is always hurt. Just trade him. That seems like that. You guys are trolling me. I don't know how people are blaming Sohan. I don't think anybody watched the game. I'll be real with you. This might be mean to say. I don't think you guys watched the game. I really don't think you watch the game. I think a lot of times people catch the end of these games or like maybe the highlights or whatever. They go to the stat sheet and then just blame somebody. In this game in particular, I really don't know why Sohan name comes up at all. I don't know. If you watched it, the Spurs just really laid an egg in that fourth quarter, man. As a team. As a complete team. They win as a team, they lose as a team. As a complete package, the fourth quarter was horrible. Look at this. You had a 97-82 lead. Giddey make a 2-point shot. Zach LaVine made a 3. Zach LaVine made another 3. Keldon Johnson had a floating jump shot. No one did anything. Keldon Johnson missed the free throw. Keldon Johnson missed the free throw. Steph Castle missed the free throw. Yeah, I mean they just grinded back. And we made too many mistakes. It felt like there were a lot of offensive fouls that they called on us. Yeah, this Charles Bassey turnover was really bad. Oh, maybe it wasn't that one. It might not have been that one. I don't think it was the Charles Bassey turnover. It was, I think it was another play. I mean, Vic came in and then Nikola hit a 3-pointer. Like, I don't know. I thought Sohan missed a 3 and then Victor missed a 3 in crunch time. Oh yeah, see, yeah, Sohan missed a 3, and then Vic missed a 3. And in a close game, this is what I don't understand. Okay, the Sohan shot was completely wide open. Okay, I will admit that. All right, I will admit that it was wide open. Whatever, right? I'll deal. But just in general, I'm not a fan of all of the 3-point shots that the Spurs attempt in crunch time. I mean, look at this. You got Vic taking a 25-foot 3, a pull-up at that, a pull-up jump shot when you're only up by 1. Right? I think the left is Spurs, yeah. You're only up by 1? It's like you're trying to get the game over with. I don't like it. So, yeah, take a pull-up 3-point shot. And they have all the momentum right now, right? We desperately need to get in the paint. And then you got a Victor 21-foot pull-up jump shot. And then you have a Devin Vassell bad pass turnover. And wasn't there another 3? Okay, no, that was the 8 seconds left. And then you got a Victor, missed 3 at the end. But I guess at that point, you put yourself in a situation where you had to attempt that. It was just ugly, bro. The execution was ugly. Not attacking the rim. Not getting, finding ways to get closer to the basket. It was just overall ugly. The bad pass was to Sohan. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember. Yeah, because Devin Vassell drove in, and then yeah, I remember. Just ugly. I just overall, it was pretty bad. Okay, should I just screenshot everybody in the chat that says Sohan is bad? I should probably just screenshot all of you. And then in a couple seasons when the Spurs are making deep playoff runs, I don't want to hear anybody come in here and say, "Wait, man, Sohan was." I don't want to hear it. I should just hold receipts for everybody in chat right now. To be fair, not everyone in chat is like being silly like that, but it does get frustrating on my part though, because it's like I can explain all day why he's important to the team, but if he's not making 5 threes a game, no one cares. Clan, I'm on record, want to be known as a Sohan fan. Sohan is great. Sohan is very important. Okay. Oh, that's good, Chris. All right, some good news. All right, everybody's being silly, but I got some good news. Chris says, "Hey, bro, Death Note is legit. I like it." Good. Wait, last stream we told him to watch Death Note. Well, I guess I told him to watch Death Note. Good. I'm happy, man. Death Note's great. I told you. Hopefully this can transition you into more Japanese content. Then maybe we can get you into Korean content. You can actually watch Old Boy without subtitles. Wait, not without subtitles. Without dub. Without the English dub. Just listen. Yeah. Read it with subtitles. That's what I mean. Please stop bringing up Kai Soto. Ugh, who brought up Kai Soto? Best news so far. That is good news. He's not good. Are you talking about me? Dude, I never bring up Kai Soto. Kai Soto is him. He's arguing with somebody in chat, I think. Dude, I've always said Kai Soto's pretty awful. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, I see what's going on. Anyways, I'm not too shocked about this game. I don't think you guys should be upset, all right? I mean, you can be upset. I don't want to tell you how to feel, but I think your expectations or our expectations for the Spurs we need to enjoy these games. We need to have fun. We need to see, like, what is it that the Spurs need? What do we do well? What do we do poorly? And at the end of the day, I don't necessarily think that this is a playoff team, right? But that doesn't mean that we're not going to have fun. That doesn't mean that Victor won't be an all-star and we'll enjoy that, or he'll make history in that regard. It's lots of things to look forward to, right? We got the trade deadline coming up pretty soon. Like, there's some good stuff to look forward to. So I don't think that we need to just sit back and just get so angry and so amped. This isn't a playoff team. If they make the playoffs, I'll say I was wrong on it, right? I'm optimistic. We beating Bucks on Wednesday. I think the Spurs can beat I think they can beat anybody, right? But it's 50-50. We're a 500 team. You know? You make a mistake here or there, and that's it. You know? I do think that this was one of our worst games, you know, in the fourth. But you can see how well they played for the majority of the game. It just is what it is, you know. This is what's going to happen. You got to be very mature. You got to make sure that you're not making silly mistakes. You can't just run off of crowd hype, you know, alone. You got to be able to execute when you need to, even when the crowd is against you. And it was just way too much momentum against the Spurs. Missed coverages. It was just bad. I mean, the fourth quarter was just bad. It was really bad. I thought the whole team, and even me, guys, who every single game I come in and I'm like, let me be honest, going through the players, and I say Keldon's defense was bad. Was it bad? Yes. But at the end of the day, it wasn't just Keldon's fault. It wasn't just Devin's fault. It wasn't just Victor's fault. It wasn't just Sohan's fault. This was a total team collapse. I couldn't pinpoint one play. Everyone made mistakes. Chris Paul made mistakes, which he shouldn't have. It was just weird, man. It was just weird. And let's try our best not to have this "what have you done for me lately" mentality, right? I think a lot of times we go into these games, and when we lose, and as close as it is, we really hyper focus on the last 2 minutes, the last 3 minutes. This game was lost the entire fourth quarter. The Spurs prepared to lose this game since the beginning of the fourth. This wasn't a we were going back and forth all game long, and then it came down to that one play, and we knew it was going to come down to that one play. The Spurs could have and probably should have convincingly beat the Chicago Bulls. But when you're a 500 team, you're going to make mistakes. When you're a young team, you're going to make silly mistakes. And the good news about all of this is that Chris Paul got on them pretty heavy. Okay, so any shame that you're feeling, I guarantee you, I mean, looking at that bench, they felt pretty silly. Malachi is a bucket. But I mean, we're not going to see him. It doesn't really seem like Mitch Johnson has any plans to give him or Wesley any minutes. And honestly, this game, as bad as the Spurs were playing, we could have used a Popovich spark, right? A Popovich, all right, screw it. All you guys are trash. Everyone sit. Malachi, Blake Wesley, Mamu, get out there, you know? Maybe would have kept that lead a little bit. We probably could have used that in this game, you know, because even though on paper, yes, this is the group that should have been out there, as a team, they were playing pretty awful, right? So this would have been a nice, screw it, I don't care about the win or loss. Malachi, Blake, get in there. Make something happen. Mamu, do something. Make something happen. And usually that's all it takes, even if they're not as talented, right? I think the Spurs could have used that. Sure. I'm not mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that. Teams are going to figure out Wemby. You can see many commentators saying attack Wemby, posting them up. Oh, dude. Look, the whole offseason, I mean, teams have thought about it. They know how to attack Wemby. We saw it from like game one, how teams are playing differently against Wemby. They're not just figuring it out. Teams attempt it. It's going to be up to Wemby to be able to, you know, get better and better and play around that. But they figured out Wemby. Obviously figured out Wemby. They attacked him and he made 8 blocks. They can try. Yeah, it was 8 blocks, but I mean, you got to be kind of relentless with Wemby, right? If he doesn't have that size, you got to just keep doing it. You just got to keep going, keep going. You can't be hesitant against Vic. Clan, would you trade your kidney for Giannis? I do love Giannis. Maybe. You got to have heart to win. Sure. They have the talent, but they have no heart. Okay, all right, okay, all right. I agree with the first part, but I think that was a little bit of a leap to say they don't have heart. I definitely believe... Gosh, you really want me to believe Keldon doesn't have heart? That's kind of crazy. Keldon has heart. Devin has heart. Chris Paul has heart. Man, I really wish Devin's shooting can get going, bro. It feels like it's been... I feel like it's been pretty bad for a minute now. Or am I crazy? Oh, wait. I meant to go to game log. Yeah, it seems like it's been really bad. Let's just start from December. I guess we can only start from December, really. You have 35% in December. But the month of January thus far, it's only 3 games with 20% from 3. But it's even all over the place. Even when you look at December, you got 4 for 5, 1 for 5, 0 for 4, 4 for 7, 0 for 6, 5 for 7, 0 for 4, 1 for 5, 1 for 4, 2 for... It is no consistency whatsoever. You can have a game where he shoots over 50% and then have a game where he shoots under 26. Like, that's crazy. Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. 50% and then under... it doesn't matter. It's still held true. The number of attempts, Clan? Jeez, yeah. Yeah, he's taking a lot. Keldon got swapped by P. Giddy. I'm not blaming one player for this loss, y'all. Everybody was pretty bad. Pretty bad. I'm just not gonna sit here and I just don't want a roller coaster, you know? I want all of us to be pretty consistent with how we feel about things and give it a big enough sample size before you start to have an opinion about it, right? I don't think, you know, people coming in and saying Sohan is trash. I don't know where they come from after this game, but overall, I wish that we would just kind of sit back and assess the team for what it is. What does Sohan does well? Is that role that he brings to the Spurs? Is it important for a future championship? You know, all those things. And then I think that you can have a more well-rounded view of it. The only reason why I go into these streams and I'm so pessimistic sometimes towards Keldon is just because I've had years already, right? He's the longest tenured Spur. I know what he brings. I know what he does well. I know what he does poorly. And with the Spurs' newfound identity that they're attempting to create, sometimes I question whether or not that fits. But I wish people would do that with other players rather than we jump into a game and now we want this player traded and now we want this player traded. No, we want to keep him. We want to. It's like, good God, man. Can we please just chill out? You know? That's all. That's all. Just wish we would assess things for what they are and rather than getting too crazy. A trade is a big deal, y'all. It's a big deal. Everyone is just venting. Venting is one thing, but then you want to come in here and just be like, Sohan is trash, clan. What are you talking about? You don't know ball. Like I was seeing chats saying, clan, you don't know ball. I don't know what to tell you. Sohan tweet. What do you guys mean? You said Sohan tweet. Don't listen to the hate clan. I just get tired of it, man. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I understand the frustration sometimes, but Jeremy Sohan, he's a good player. He's overall a good player. And I think that what he brings in his skill set, I'm never going to look at his stat sheet. Very similar to guys like Draymond Green. I don't care. You can just watch the game and tell what the impact that they're having. And when I do look at Sohan's stats, I like to go and look at the advanced analytics, especially defensive advanced analytics and you can see the type of impact that he has. We do it all the time on stream, you know? Thanks for the super chat, man. Gregory says Sohan did nothing wrong. F my life. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Especially this game. And I'm not going to sit here and say he can never have a bad game, but good God, man. I mean, and then it's so funny to me too, because people will also come in and say, well, the Spurs played with no heart. They played soft. They were just so soft. And if you want to talk about mentality, I think a few of these players on the team are pretty doggone tough, right? I would say Sohan is top tier as far as tough players on this team. He's top tier when it comes to that. You want to talk about people that are soft. He is none of that. He is very annoying. We would absolutely hate, well, some people already hate him and you are a fan of the team, but you would absolutely hate him if you were a fan of another team he was going against you. Like, you would just hate this dude. He's a pest. He's annoying. He's nasty. Oh, he did tweet. Okay. All right. Let's see. Five minutes ago. Energy. All right, so we can take this one or two ways. Either one, he's saying the team needs to play with more energy. Don't really think that he's saying that. He's probably saying keep that same energy. What energy? I think he got the little talk here, right? He's like, keep that same energy. I think that's what he's going for. I don't know. He doesn't give us a lot. When he tweets, he doesn't give us a lot. Like, we got a few days ago, big F and win. Okay, I guess that is giving us a lot. Alien 2 in the world. Okay, I have no idea what this means. Alien times 2 in the world. I don't know what that. What? Sohan's losing it a little bit. Oh yeah, that was funny. I remember this. But yeah, energy. So I think he's saying keep that same energy. Pretty sure he's saying keep that same energy, because Lord have mercy, dude, has Sohan. Talk about punching bags. I don't know why he's the. Well, I do know why he's the punching bag. I think that a lot of people already are turned off by Sohan. I think that by him always like dyeing his hair, being a little bit different, being annoying to the opposing team, I think is a target on his back. And I mean, that's the reason why that whole narrative last season was, oh, is Wemby jealous, or is Sohan jealous of Wembanyama and all this nonsense, which there was no basis to go off of that. I mean, we take a look at every single press conference. We take a look at every single game. We pay attention to the smaller things on this channel, and there was nothing indicating that. And if it was, I would have been the first to at least mention it to you guys. I would have said, oh, I thought that was kind of weird, this, that, but it's nothing there. It's absolutely nothing there. It was so bad last year with the narratives, man, that it drove me crazy. I literally made a thread Victor Wembanyama and Sohan being BFFs. I had to make a thread. This is how bad it was. I had to show all the instances of him and Wemby hitting it off. All these instances, him congratulating them having similar interests. Oh, thanks for the super chat, man. You know, their history going back when they played as kids. Wemby admitting that Sohan was the first person to reach out to him before he was even drafted. The Sohan interview, the on the court chemistry. Just not. Look at this. He hates them. They hate each other. Obviously, you can see that they hate each other. I think it just comes down to people already don't like Sohan, and I understand that, right? So, even Spurs fans, a lot of Spurs fans aren't going to love Sohan until they start winning. That's cute. It is kind of cute. I ain't gonna lie. It is a little cute. Please stop. What? Is this cuteness overload? I get it. I get it. I got the same villain. I get the same feeling when I play Rival. When I play Marvel Rivals, I get the same feeling. Like this, you see cuteness and like it's so cute, it just kind of makes you angry. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. When I see this shark, man, I'd lose it. I lose it. Just cute overload. Too much cuteness. Look at our record with and without Sohan playing. Some fans hate numbers. Numbers hurt feelings. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's not making us feel better. What? Are you serious? You look at this face and you don't feel better? Do you have a heart? Do you have a heart? Is this the Wizard of Oz? Do you need a heart? He sees a human he's about to eat. If this was the last thing that I saw before I was out, I would die happy. I would die happy. This is cute. Jeff is cool. Jeff is cool. He's a good character. Trade Sohan for Jeff. That is the only reasonable trade for Sohan I can see right now. If you traded Sohan for Jeff the Shark, I would definitely approve of it. I get it. I understand it. He might not be able to dribble the ball as well as Sohan can, but look at him. Look at him. It's definitely cuter than this. Wait. There we go. It's definitely cuter than that. I mean, let's just be honest. Clan, I don't have a heart or soul. That's pretty cool. You're edgy, man. You're pretty edgy. All right. Anyways, yeah. Back to the tweet or whatever. It seems like Sohan don't like y'all. Sohan doesn't like y'all that much. It's pretty mean, bro. It's pretty mean. It's pretty mean. Sohan's fine. He's fine. And Sohan will never be the type of player that gives you this is why I'm just playing a waiting game. And it's so irritating from my standpoint because I can get on here. We do this all the time. We'll look at advanced analytics and do all that great stuff, and we're like, oh wait, Sohan is actually really good. He's actually contributing to the ball, contributing to the team immensely, right? And we can look at that. But as far as majority of people agreeing or being on board, or I guess majority of people are on board, but you know, if we can get to that 90% of people saying, yes, Sohan's great, where like right now we got 100% of people saying Wemby's great, right? Once we can get, we won't get to that point until the Spurs are actually winning in playoff series. Like it's just not going to happen because statistically, you're not going to be able to bring up ESPN and see how he contributed. And you will think if you didn't catch the full game and you're not fully paying attention or fully locked in, you will come out of these losses and say, wow, it was Sohan's fault, right? Like that's immediately what you'll go to. You'll say, why did the Spurs play him for 40 minutes this game? Not realizing that the reason why they played him 40 minutes in a game is because he's one of the most consistent players that we have. You know, it's on Mitch. It was some really rough. It was some rough lineups at the end. I really thought, honestly, the more I talk to you guys, the more I'm just like, They should have just said screw it and threw in Malachi, Blake, Mamu. You should have did a power move. The Spurs were playing so poorly in the fourth and making so many mistakes. And just, I guess I'll be honest, I think a lot of the players just kind of expected to win this one because they were having such a good time doing what you wanted. I mean, you got beginning of the game, you got freaking Castle doing windmill dunks. I mean, we were just destroying them. And I think they got a little full of themselves. And I think it would have been a good message, at least for the team, if you just pulled a pop, said, nope, you guys are sitting. Malachi, Blake, Mamu, get in there. And it won't be long. Do it for like 3 minutes, right? Just 3 minutes. And then put you guys back in. They would have brought enough energy that I don't think the Bulls would have just ran away with anything, right? That's just my take. On paper, it's less talent. But in practice, I think it would have been better for this game. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. But anyways, yes, Sohan's pissed off. Y'all made him mad. Maybe we can pick Flag's teammate. He's straight slung in the turns. I think I'm going to watch Rambo. Okay. I hope he is mad. What? You hope Sohan's mad? Yeah, Sohan's probably pretty irritated. I'm sure he's pretty irritated. Yeah, empty the bench and embarrass some pop style. That's what I'm saying. This was one of those games that I felt like you needed it. Like, you let them come all the way back and you making all these constant mistakes. Screw that. Go sit. Wemby. I mean, just even if your peer is playing well, I don't know. Wemby, Sohan, go sit down. Chris, you can stay in the game, but Wemby, Sohan, you go sit. Fasale, go sit down. You guys are embarrassing me right now. Anyways, Malachi, Blake, Mamu, do your thing. That probably would have been helpful. I watch war movies and listen to heavy metal when I'm mad. I think that's healthy. I think that's healthy. Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Okay. Last order of business. All right. Don't be upset. All right. Don't be upset. We're over this game now. All right. We're not talking about the game anymore. I came across this and it made me happy. And then it quickly made me sad. So someone ended up putting something together on the worst shooters thus far in the NBA. Okay. 20, 24, 25 shooters so far. And I looked at this list and I was quite happy because I was like, ha, that's funny. And then I got real sad real quick. Guys. So tell me if you see what I see. So obviously the first person you see, you're Sohan. This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. People are so, I mean, I'm not blaming you. I'm not talking about you, Israel. I'm just saying in general, people are so quick to jump in and blame Sohan for stuff. But it's like, no, Sohan isn't one of the worst in the league. No. Anyways, this is pretty bad though. So Castle being number one, I actually wasn't that upset about it. Like, I feel like we all ouch young players. I guess you guys haven't caught it yet. Like, initially I was like, that's not that big a deal. Like, it's bad, right? We all know Castle isn't a great shooter right now, but he has the good mechanics and it'll come together. I'm not expecting him to end up being like a superstar. Yeah, I expect him to be a star player, right? I do expect him to be a star player, but I don't expect him to be like a superstar Steph Curry type player, right? He's going to bring value in lots of different areas, and his shooting is going to improve. Like, it just is. He has the good mechanics, and then even in high school, you could see his mechanics. He was a pretty good 3-point shooter, so it's nothing crazy. I'm not worried about it that much. I think it'll be fine. And then we look at another young player, Risache, whatever. Giannis. I'm a little shocked that Giannis was so high, but hey, it is what it is. But his long twos weren't as bad. But overall, pretty poor. You got George, you got Murray, you got Westbrook, and then you got Keldon. Clan, I see Keldon is high on the list. Yeah. So because the reason why this was like this stood out to me is because someone actually showed me an article and they try to use this to like tell me that I'm being way too harsh on Keldon, where they brought this up and they were like, well, read this article, Clint. And I did read it. It says, don't look now, but last year's punching bag is having a great year. No disrespect to Sean McKenna at all. Like, I think that this is like finally written and everything, you know, hey, it's some good stuff. But he does bring up like some of Keldon's percentages and say in all these different ways he's improved. He says that he's the heart of the team. And, you know, to a degree, I agree that, you know, he brings the energy and whatnot. And then it goes on to say Johnson's not going anywhere. He's too valuable to this team. I don't agree with that. I think that's kind of a huge leap, right? And just looking at some of the articles they've done before, I thought this one was kind of strange. Like back in November, Sohan's injury has led to several surprising benefits for the Spurs. Don't really know why that would be an article, but just overall though, we know what Keldon brings, right? We know what he is, but to say that he's so much better than he was last year, I don't necessarily know what we're going off of, other than a few nitpicky stats that you might can throw out. But overall, just wanted to show you this is pretty bad. Now, what made me happy about this was number 15, okay? The guy who talked a lot of trash about the Spurs. DeJounte Murray being on this list, him being top 20 and worst shooters so far this season, is very funny to me. I actually really like that. I enjoy that a lot. I am a little shocked. I didn't know this, though. I am shocked that statistically Keldon is a worse shooter than Dyson Daniels. Because Dyson Daniels, everyone talks about how poorly of a shooter he is. So that kind of worries me a little bit. You know? Reed went to the G League today. DeJounte think of the past? Yeah, I just thought it was funny. Anyways. Spurs hate drafting shooters. Simple. No. I don't think that's true. I hate to bring it up, guys, but just a couple drafts ago, they drafted someone who was known as a three-point shooter. I hate to bring it up. I know it hurts. It hurts me more than it hurts you, okay? But yeah, Primo was known for his shooting. So yeah. Ice Cream CA said Primo. Yeah. I don't think they just avoid. Stop. No, that's what he was going into the league. He's an embarrassment. He's definitely an embarrassment. I'm just saying. This is. Oh, but by the way, guys, you should know this by now. You know me by now. I'm not advocating to bring Primo back. I've never done that. I think he should be gone. I'm happy he's gone. I'm not saying the Spurs made a mistake or anything. I'm just bringing up the fact that that narrative isn't necessarily true. The Spurs do go after. You forgot Joe. Yes, exactly. Joe, how did you say it? Wieskamp or Wieskamp? But he was a three-point shooter as well, you know? So, it's yeah. Devin Vassell is, he was a good three-point shooter, so hopefully that comes back. Wieskamp, okay, got you. Lucas Sandwich. What was Lucas Samanich's stats like from three? I don't really recall. I'm just an angry old man. And it's all right. Just listen. You say you're going to listen to your heavy metal and watch war movies. Just do that. I think that's healthy. I think that's healthy. Wheezy, man, poor guy. Yeah. Oh man. Anyways, end the segment. I think we're gonna end the segment. Any other thoughts? I was just kind of, I saw 15. First I saw Castle and then I saw 15 and then I just kind of glanced through and I was like, oh my God, I did not expect Keldon to be that high. I'll be honest. Even as my main gripe on Keldon has been the defense, but like offensively, I knew he hasn't been that great, but I was like, wow, really? That's really high. That's really high. I would not expect him to be next to like Westbrook or. Yeah, I just wasn't expecting that. Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. All right. Anything else? Front office can't draft anymore. Do we not like Steph Castle now? Is that what's going on? Like, we don't like Steph Castle. We don't like Wemby. You know, all right, I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? A big part of the San Antonio Spurs success over those years, those many of years that they had, is because they had Tim Duncan, Manu, and Tony. Now, Manu and Tony, those two players in of itself, in today's era of drafting, they wouldn't have went as deep in the draft as they did. That wouldn't have happened. Like, teams have improved so much. These are basically lottery picks right there. The Spurs did a really phenomenal job at that time. After that did most of the heavy lifting. The Spurs had plenty of mishaps, when it comes to drafting. They had plenty of missteps. But you could experiment a little bit more back then, right? Because we had Duncan. It was fine. That sounded a little bit like DMX right there. Yeah, Duncan. It was fine. Yes, thank you, Clan. Yeah, I mean, I think that did a lot of the heavy lifting. What you already did prior, having your superstars established, that did most of the heavy lifting throughout those years. I mean, people love, like, Dwan Blair, like, oh, he was a good addition, whatever. But, like, would we call that a successful draft with him? Like, would we or would we not? I don't know. Presti drafted J-Dub and we drafted Sohan. Sohan's a really good player, and J-Dub is older. In that draft, he was much older, I believe. How old is Jalen Williams? He's 23. Am I thinking of someone else? No, was he a super senior? Who am I thinking about? It was him, right? Wasn't he a senior when they picked him up? But 2 extra years of professional basketball or elite basketball. So, and they're 2 different types of players anyway. So, miss Jonathan Simmons. Man, you miss Jonathan Simmons until you go watch some highlights of Jonathan Simmons. You're not gonna miss him anymore. Recent highlights. J-Dub is 23. Yeah, I just saw. I was wondering if it was but I think he was a senior. The other Jalen Williams is younger than that Jalen Williams. I think I'm thinking this right guy. I missed Metu. No, you don't. Metu wasn't that good. Devin a trade piece? Maybe. Not a good season? What, the Spurs? Spurs are fine. We're going to be a 500 team. I say we get 44 wins. Most people going into this, you got to keep in mind what the expectation was going into the season. Most people said 35. Gosh, I don't even know if I could find it. I can find it. I did a poll a long time ago. Maybe the beginning of the season. Let's see if we can find it. Give me a second. All right, this is 2 months ago. I wish they could let you like filter. Oh. No, actually, people started feeling kind of hype going into this season. 30% said under 36. 70% said over. Let's see. 36. See if anybody's saying specific. Over 36, under 40. I think that was kind of the main sentiment. I feel like most people said 35. 41, 37, 31 to 35, 30 to 33. Yeah, but I feel like the overall sentiment was the Spurs get around 30, 35. And because we've seen so many performances where it's like, whoa, the Spurs look so good, we start to forget that this is still a 500 team. And they're going to play like a 500 team sometimes. Yeah, I say 44. You know, but you can see this isn't like super convincing, right? Most of the people that commented said, yeah, I think over 36, but like 37. You know, man, 44 would be cool. I saw people saying the Spurs could get 50. And I'm like, 50 is wild. That would be wild. That's a huge leap. Wemby's making the leap though. Yeah, of course he did. I think lots of players made the leap this year. 60 wins, please stop. Larry's just optimistic. Larry said we win in the chip this year, so. All right, in the segment. I don't really feel like going over the press conference. I'll be honest with you. So I don't think I am. I'm not angry. I'm just hurt. They will be fine. As long as you have the expectation. All right. I'm not. I won't force you to have my expectations, but my expectations, it legitimately is, guys. You win 44, huge leap from last year. You don't make the playoffs because you're not ready for it. And you go into the draft and you get 2 phenomenal players. And then that's when the fun really starts. And then next season, no excuse, it's playoff time, baby. Then it's playoff time. Then at that point, I'll be with you guys and just say anything can happen, right? But it's a long game. It's not something that's going to happen right now. It's not something that's that the Spurs are ready for. I'll just be honest, man. And they're going to win. There's going to be some games where we look convincing. There's going to be some games where we look great. We already have had those. But yet and still, as much effort as the Spurs bring every single night, there is a reason that we're 500. Any press conference interviews yet? I think there was one with let's see. I think there was one with Mitch Johnson. I just don't really. We'll skim through. Somebody says Spurs reporter posted it, so let's see. Yeah, you got quite a few. You got Wemby.
2 games has been difficult for your team. I think teams adapt during the game, and maybe we don't. You know, we don't adapt enough. And but it's definitely something I'm gonna work on. You know, predicting the adjustments of the defense, because right now, I mean, for sure we need to have more than one plan, because they're gonna have more than one.
Oh God. Yikes. Am I looking too deep into this? Should I say it? Isn't that kind of the coach's job a little bit? I actually need some people to be like, no, he didn't mean it like that, so I can like chill out, because that didn't sound good. Listen to Mitch's press conference. All right. Okay, let's listen to that one more time.
Last two games, it's been difficult for your team to score in the fourth quarter. Is there any, what do you see there, and what maybe needs to change?
So I think teams adapt during the game, and maybe we don't. We don't adapt enough, and but it's definitely something I'm gonna work on. Predicting the adjustments of the defense, because right now, I mean, for sure we need to have more than one plan, because they're gonna have more than one.
I don't know how I'm supposed to take that. I don't think, now I'll say this, I don't think Wemby's like fed up with the Spurs or anything like that, but like, I think he's just being honest. But saying that we need to have more than one plan, we don't. That doesn't make me very confident. Like I said, in this game in particular, I felt like there were so many mistakes. Like, it wasn't just the adjustments from the Bulls. I felt like the Spurs, there were just so many mistakes. But I think Wemby's just talking about as a whole. But there were so many freaking mistakes. I would have liked for the coaching staff just to say, screw this. If you guys are gonna make all these mistakes, I'm gonna use my power here and make a statement. Wesley, Branham, Mamu, get in there, go play some ball, and just for a few minutes, just 2-3 minutes, and be like, all right, you guys ready to play now? Or like, that's it. Sometimes that's all it takes. But yikes. All right, somebody said listen to Mitch Johnson stuff. All right, we'll start with this one.
I think the attention to detail and respect for some of the little things that went into what we got the lead wavered, and then we had a fight on our hands. And so you have to fight the human nature of being complacent or happy with yourselves when things are going well in the middle of a game. And you felt the game flip. It flipped. And
it does happen a lot. I think that comes with the maturity as well, right?
I think that lack of respect at times for some of the details played a part.
Dang, called it? Which part? What, just like the little mistakes that they made? I mean, I thought that was pretty obvious. I don't think I was a genius on that one. All right, let's see.
This is the kind of second game in a row where offense was a challenge in the fourth quarter. Were there any common threads between those two?
Lack of respect, that's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, it's been like a continuous theme with them.
Fourth quarters that you just played?
Yes, in the sense, just turnovers. There's a point of the game where you have to take as much indecision or chance out of it. You have to impose your will on the game as an individual and as a team. And that's how teams close wins out in this league. Teams are good. And when you give teams life, and they played well, they made plays, but when we stopped with some of the resistance on defense or some of the fundamentally sound plays on offense, you let chance creep in more. And I think that's what's frustrating about the last two nights, or the last two games, excuse me.
Yeah, I can see that. And also, man, I did not feel comfortable with how the Bulls just kind of creeped around that 10, down by 10 mark. I did not like that. Self-respect is the key. I think they respect themselves. I trust Wesley more than Trey at this point. Ooh, I won't go that far, but I definitely think Wesley could have got thrown in there. I mean, it was obviously lack of energy, you know.
Whether like the kind of mood of the team is that a concern for you right now? The mindset after two pretty rough endings in a row.
No, in the sense that our last, 100 some odd minutes we played really good basketball. We are playing good basketball. But that is something that we have to get better at. It's a big area that we have to improve. You have to win close games in this league. And there are things, but we should have done when it wasn't close to sustain and maintain. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there.
And then Wemby's takeaway from the loss was we didn't make enough adjustments. Hold on. Here's more.
I guess respecting the game, I think would be a way to call what happened. Not taking things for granted.
Okay. I think we're good. I think we're okay, guys. I think we're okay. Okay. I only get worried. I hate that it's split like this. I only get worried when we don't necessarily have I want to hear the players say something that's repeating what the coach said. You know what I'm saying? And he's repeating it, so that's good. Maybe that other thing was just something else, like, oh, we just need to make some more adjustments or whatever. Maybe it wasn't a slight on the staff or anything. I don't think it was. That would have been out of. I think that would be out of left field because we didn't really feel any build up to that leading up to this point because we heard them talk every game. Like, yeah.
Respecting, what we call the basketball gods, doing the right things, and being smart. I mean, it was
because I did not come away with this loss with, man, they really made some great adjustments that really hurt the San Antonio Spurs, and we just didn't make enough adjustments. I did not get that vibe. I just got the vibe of you guys got complacent. You were making a lot of stupid mistakes. You were not very mature. Now, I know it's fun, when you're whooping on somebody, but when they were coming back like that, that's why you don't get too happy too quickly. Act like you've been there before, I mean, our bench is losing it, absolutely losing it early in that game. And that's cool, but act like you've been there.
Tonight, I think it was really a mix of things. And
Clan, there's an article where Wemby is saying getting a new player. Did you read it? How long ago was that? Because I remember Wemby did a press conference where he said something similar, like, some of the guys on his team won't be here later. So
I don't think there was one really area where we were really, really bad. I mean, of course, we had turnovers, but
11 hours?
Things, but that should be compensated by the effort, and effort and the attention to details.
Because of how well things have been going for these last two games, does that make these two finishes all the more frustrating? Where's your mental state right now?
Yeah. I mean, it's very frustrating. I mean, right now we should have more wins, but we don't deserve more wins, because this is where we're at right now, or this is our level, our maturity, and we need to. And this one is a tough one for sure, but apparently we need those to grow, and we. And yeah, we for sure we got to do something. There's gonna be close games. There's gonna be games where we're up. I'm not worried about when we're down, but there's gonna be games when we're up and we got to keep a lead. In the NBA, it's hard, and games are gonna be close, and then we need to win.
That is interesting, isn't it? He said, "I'm not worried about when we're down, but when we're up, that's what we got to focus on." Because it does show how talented this team really is, right? They know that they can come back. And that's been something that we were worried about earlier this season, where it was like, we're getting some comebacks here. You know, that's great, but like you need to be able to hit them early. And now the Spurs are at the point where they are coming into games with that energy. They're a first quarter and third quarter team as of late. It feels that way. And now it's like, now we have to sustain it. And it's just so much. But I think all of it really comes down to just maturity. You know, Clan, it was on sportingnews.com. Let's see. Victor Wembanyama urges Spurs to make roster moves ahead of upcoming trade deadline. This summer, the Spurs, Chris Paul traded. Last year, we couldn't think of the playoffs when we outlined on Saturday. Okay. We had to think about the instant before saying we want to go to the playoffs. Would have been going too quick because we weren't there yet. The facts are, yeah, we're a young team, but using that as an excuse for me, it's like pressing the brake, you know, just using that as an excuse. It will show a bad mentality if you use that as an excuse. San Antonio is linked to Trae Young. Okay, where is the, after turning 21 years old over the weekend, Wembanyama seems ready to add some trophies to his collection, and the Spurs need to be ready for him, what or who he wants. Where in this quote does, because I remember Wemby mentioning that like there would be some players that won't be here, you know, in the future. Like, oh yeah, we'll have a different roster as time goes on. I remember him saying that. There, you would have thought if Wemby straight up said he's urging the Spurs to make roster moves, you would have thought that would just be here. I don't think that's, where did Trae Young come from? I don't know. Has been linked to Trae Young, De'Aaron Fox, Nembhard, and other high-level players. Nembhard would be good. I don't know. Nembhard would be really good. No, we've been linked to all three, I think. Trae Young, that was a while ago. We haven't been linked to Trae Young in forever. Wembanyama is issuing a directive to the front office: do more of what you did last season and give me a winning roster. I don't know where that's coming from what they posted here. So this is news clickbait? Kinda, yeah. A little bit. Because they could have very well just used the quote where he was like, yeah, we'll have a different roster, but there was nothing. We've seen all these press conferences. There's nothing where Wemby's like, oh yeah, I'd make something happen, or, you know. Yeah. Nembhard and Miles Turner would be solid. I think Nembhard is actually a really good one. What a load of baloney. Nembhard would be crazy. Yeah. All right, in a segment. All right, said I wouldn't be on that long. I'm going off. I'm getting off. Bye. Everybody have a good night. I'm hopping off. Nah, next time. I'm out, fam. Good night. I need to go to sleep. Bye.